Most people think the more relationship evidence you include, the stronger your application. But it's actually the opposite. Structure, not volume, is what makes your evidence convincing. A genuine relationship can still be presented badly. Even if the evidence is real, the documents may be hard to follow. And when that happens, strong evidence can look weaker than it really is. I'm James. I'm a PhD researcher and resilience expert. In this video, I'm going to show you how to organize your relationship evidence into 3 layers. By the end, you'll know what each layer is for, where your documents belong, and how to make your relationship story easier to follow. What is the layered approach? The biggest mistake is treating relationship evidence like a pile of documents. Your evidence should not just exist. It should explain the relationship. It needs to work like a clear relationship story, because even strong evidence can look weak if it is scattered, repeated, or hard to follow. That is why I use a simple 3-layer approach. Layer 1, foundation evidence. This shows what the relationship is. Layer 2, shared life evidence. This shows that your lives are connected. Layer 3, ongoing relationship evidence. This shows that the relationship has continued over time. And this is not a home office rule or requirement. It's just a practical way to organize your documents so the reader does not have to piece everything together. Sort your relationship evidence into these 3 groups: foundation, shared life, an ongoing relationship. Then ask 3 questions for every document. What layer does this belong to? What does it prove? And where does it sit in the timeline? If you cannot answer those 3 questions, the timeline may confuse readers more than it helps. The goal is to make your evidence easier to understand. If you're putting your UK spouse visa application together, then I've created a free UK spouse visa preparation kit to help you organize your documents clearly. You can download it using the link in the description below. Layer 1 is foundation evidence. This is the official proof that shows what the relationship is. For many people, this might be a marriage certificate or their civil partnership document. For others, the starting document might be different depending on their situation. The point is not just having the document, it needs to sit in the right place in your relationship story. This document, whichever one you choose, anchors everything else. It tells the reader what the relationship is, so that the rest of your evidence has context. Without this clear starting point, the rest of your evidence can feel disconnected. So how do we use this layer? Firstly, identify the core document that defines your relationship on paper. Secondly, place it at the start of your relationship timeline, so everything else builds from it. Your task here is simple. Choose the main document that defines the relationship. Place it first in your relationship evidence and label it clearly as your foundation evidence. This layer does not need to prove the whole relationship by itself. It gives your application a clear starting point. Now, what if you're thinking, my situation is different, I don't have a marriage certificate? This layer is about identifying and choosing that document that reflects your relationship category. If your situation is different, do not guess. Check the official requirements for your category so you understand what document is expected for your route. And if you're having self-doubt, thinking I won't be able to do this properly, or this is too complicated, I won't know how to structure it correctly, this step is not about proving everything. It's about giving the reader a clear starting point. Layer 2 is your shared life evidence. This is usually one of the strongest signals because it shows how your lives are connected in practice. Ask yourself this: if someone looked at your situation from the outside, somebody who didn't know you, would it be clear that you are building a life together? For this layer, you really have to show 2 things. First of all, show that you have visited each other or that you live at the same address. Secondly, show that this has been consistent over time and is not just shown by one document or in one trip together. Many people think shared life evidence just means having a few documents with the same address or one plane ticket together. But the real issue is about consistency. Does your evidence show a clear pattern over time? Does it make your living situation easy to understand? Or does it force the caseworker to piece everything together? Can start to look weaker than it really is. Your task here is to put your shared life documents in date order. The reader should be able to see patterns quickly without hunting through scattered documents. You might be thinking that I have the evidence, but I'm overwhelmed. It's messy, and I don't know how to present it properly. If it feels messy, that does not mean your evidence is weak. It usually means it has not been sorted out yet. A good starting point is to put your documents in date order. You're trying to show a clear pattern where you've been at the same address or you've been at the same location over time, over repeated visits, without making a reader piece it all together. The free UK spouse visa preparation kit helps you structure your preparation process. You can download it from the link in the description. Layer 3 is all about your ongoing relationship evidence. This is about continuity. It really answers one question: does the relationship look real over time, not just at one moment? So instead of thinking, oh, I need to show lots of messages, photos, ask something better. Does your evidence show a consistent connection from when you met your partner to now? This is where many people go wrong. They include a lot of evidence, but it feels random, repetitive, or disconnected. They stuff in messages, travel records, plane tickets, photos, call logs, visits. All of these can help, but they all need to fit into a clear timeline. Your task here is not to include everything. Your task is to select evidence from across the relationship. Choose examples from the middle, the recent period, and any important visits or milestones. The aim, again, is continuity, not volume. Do not bunch all your evidence into one period. Do not overwhelm the application with hundreds of messages or photos. In most cases, a smaller, clearer example tells the story much better. Each piece that you include should answer one question. What does this show about the relationship at this point in the timeline? For example, is it showing you that you had continued contact, a visit, a shared plan, a relationship milestone, or is it showing more recent communication? If you cannot explain why a piece of evidence is there, consider whether it really needs to be included. You are trying to make the relationship easy to follow. Now, what happens if you have gaps? You have a long-distance relationship and limited visits. Many couples have imperfect timelines. The practical aim here is to make the timeline understandable. When you met, how contact continued, when visits happened, and how the relationship developed. Your task is to look at your timeline from a stranger's point of view. If there is long gaps, a period of distance, or limited visits, you could add a short explanation so that the reader understands what happened instead of guessing. Do not hide gaps. Explain them briefly, then support the explanation with the evidence you do have. You can also use the free UK spouse visa preparation kit to note any gaps, questions, or documents you may need to check before you submit. Download it from the link below. So, the structure is simple. Foundation evidence shows what the relationship is. Shared life evidence shows how your lives are connected. Ongoing relationship evidence shows that the relationship has continued over time. Do not throw everything into one folder and hope it makes sense. Build the evidence in layers. For every document, ask, which layer does this belong to? What does it prove? And where does it sit in our timeline? If the reader has to work out why each document is there, your evidence is doing extra work just to be understood. Before you submit, this is the moment to slow down and look at your evidence, just like a reader would. If they open your documents and have to guess what matters, what happened when, or why a document is included, then your evidence can start to feel less clear than it really is. But instead, if each document has a layer, a purpose, and a clear place in the timeline, the relationship becomes much easier to follow. That is the goal here. Not more documents for the sake of more documents. A clearer path through the evidence you already have. This is how you make your relationship evidence easier to follow. But before you move forward with your application, do not just check that you have the documents. Check that someone else can understand why each document is in there. If your evidence is real but disorganized, the reader may have to piece the relationship together for you. The free UK spouse visa preparation kit is designed to help you sort your documents into the 3 layers before you submit. Download it using the link in the description below and use it to organize your evidence while there is still time to fix what feels unclear. Now you know how to organize your relationship evidence into a clear structure. But even when you have the right structure, small mistakes can still make your application harder to understand. In the next video, I'll show you what some of those mistakes are and how to avoid them.